The Great Wall of China is, honestly, one of the most famous structures ever built by humans. It is not just one single wall, but really a massive system of walls, watchtowers, fortresses, and other defenses. This incredible structure stretches across the northern part of China, almost like a giant stone dragon sleeping on the hills. For centuries, it has captured the imagination of people all over the world. Its sheer size is, well, hard to comprehend. When we talk about the Great Wall, we are talking about a network that winds its way through deserts, grasslands, mountains, and plateaus, covering an astonishing distance. It is a testament to human determination and a powerful symbol of China's long and rich history. If you were to walk the entire length of the Great Wall officially recognized today, you would travel over 21,000 kilometers. That is like flying from London to Sydney and back again. The main part of the wall, built during the Ming Dynasty, is about 8,850 kilometers long. The height of the wall changes depending on where you are. In some places it stands as tall as a 3-story building, around 9 meters high. In other areas, it is much lower. The width is also varied. At its widest points, it is broad enough for several horses to ride side by side, often measuring between 5 to 8 meters across the top, which was essential for moving troops and supplies quickly. The wall is not a continuous line. It has gaps where natural barriers like rivers or steep mountains provided their own defense. It is also made up of many different sections built during different time periods. Some parts are made of carefully cut stone and brick, while others are built from packed earth and wood. This variety shows how the wall evolved over many centuries. It was not built all at once but was the work of many generations of Chinese rulers and workers. The Great Wall we see in most pictures today is primarily the work of the Ming Dynasty, who perfected the art of wall building and created the most formidable and lasting sections. Today the Great Wall stands as a powerful monument. It is a reminder of China's ancient civilization and its long struggle to protect its borders and culture. It is more than just a military fortification, it is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art that blends into the natural landscape. Millions of tourists visit the wall every year to walk on its ancient stones and imagine what life was like for the soldiers who guarded it. The wall tells a story of conflict and peace, of human ambition and incredible sacrifice. It is a story that continues to fascinate and inspire people from every corner of the globe. The story of the Great Wall begins long before China was a single unified country. Around the 7th century BC, various small states in northern China started building walls to protect themselves from each other and from nomadic tribes from the north. These early walls were mostly made of packed earth and gravel, a technique called rammed earth. They were effective for their time but were separate and scattered. The first person to connect these walls into a more unified defensive line was Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a united China. In 221 BC, he ordered the existing walls to be joined and extended, creating the first version of what we now call the Great Wall. After the Qin dynasty, the Han dynasty continued the work. They extended the wall further west into the Gobi Desert. This was not just for defense but also to protect the valuable Silk Road trade route. The Han rulers understood that a strong border was essential for controlling trade and communication with Central Asia. Their sections of the wall were also built using rammed earth, but they added layers of reeds and willow branches to strengthen the structure in the sandy terrain. For centuries after the Han, the wall was not a major focus for many dynasties. Some repaired old sections, but there was no large-scale construction until much later in China's history. The most famous and well-preserved sections of the Great Wall were built during the Ming Dynasty, from 1368 to 1644. The Ming rulers faced a constant threat from Mongol tribes to the north. They took the task of building the wall more seriously than any dynasty before them. They completely redesigned and rebuilt the wall using stronger materials like bricks and stone. This made the wall much more durable and formidable. The Ming Wall included sophisticated features like watchtowers, fortresses, and barracks for soldiers. It was a complete military defense system, not just a simple barrier, showing a huge leap in engineering and military strategy. The construction of the wall finally came to an end with the fall of the Ming Dynasty. The new rulers, the Manchu, came from north of the wall. Since they now controlled both sides of the border, the wall lost its primary purpose as a defense against northern invaders. The Qing dynasty, as they were known, had little reason to maintain it. The wall was left to crumble and decay over time. It was only in the 20th century that the Great Wall was recognized as a national symbol and a priceless historical treasure. This long history spanning over 2 millennia and multiple dynasties is what makes the wall such a complex and fascinating monument. The most obvious purpose of the Great Wall was defense. It was built to stop or slow down invasions from nomadic groups from the north, most notably the Mongols and the Manchus. The wall was designed to be a formidable obstacle. Its height made it difficult for enemies to climb over, and its width allowed Chinese soldiers to patrol the top and move quickly to wherever they were needed. The watchtowers, placed at regular intervals, were crucial. From these towers, soldiers could see the enemy approaching from far away. A series of signals, using smoke by day and fire by night, could be sent along the wall to warn other garrisons in the capital city of an impending attack. However, the wall was not just a passive barrier, it was also a tool for controlling the movement of people. The Chinese Empire wanted to manage who came in and who went out of their territory. The wall funneled travelers, traders, and nomadic groups through specific checkpoints or passes. At these gates, officials could inspect goods, collect taxes, and regulate trade. This made the wall an important instrument for economic control, particularly along the Silk Road. It also helped prevent Chinese peasants from leaving the empire to join the nomadic groups, which was a real concern for some rulers who needed the farmers to produce food and pay taxes. The Great Wall also served as a powerful symbol of the emperor's power and the strength of the Chinese state. Building such a massive structure required immense resources, organization, and manpower. It was a clear message to everyone, both inside and outside of China, that the empire was strong, unified, and capable of incredible feats of engineering. The wall physically marked the boundary between the civilized world of China and the barbaric lands beyond. It was a psychological border as much as a physical one, reinforcing a sense of Chinese identity and separating their agricultural society from the nomadic lifestyles of the northern steppes. Finally, the Great Wall was a sophisticated communication system. Think of it as an ancient superhighway for information. The line of watchtowers was perfectly positioned so that each tower was within sight of the next one. If soldiers in one tower spotted an enemy force, they would light a fire or create a column of smoke. The soldiers in the next tower would see the signal and light their own fire, and so on. This chain reaction could send a message across hundreds of kilometers in just a few hours, much faster than a horse rider could travel. This early warning system gave the Chinese army precious time to prepare its defenses and send reinforcements to the threatened area. The construction of the Great Wall was an enormous undertaking that required a vast workforce and incredible effort. The people who built the wall came from all walks of life. The main builders were soldiers, who were stationed at the frontier and were responsible for both defending and extending the wall. Alongside them were millions of common people, mostly peasants. These farmers were conscripted by the government, meaning they were forced to leave their homes and families to work on the wall for a period of time. In addition to soldiers and peasants, convicts and political prisoners were also sent to the wall to work as a form of punishment, often for the rest of their lives. The materials used to build the wall varied greatly depending on the location and the time period. On the plains of eastern China, builders used large quarried stones for the foundation and outer walls, and filled the inside with earth and rubble. In the Ming Dynasty, they began manufacturing massive quantities of gray bricks in kilns set up near the construction sites. These bricks were stronger and easier to transport than large stones. In the desert regions of the West, builders used what was available, rammed earth mixed with gravel and sand. They would build wooden frames, fill them with earth, and pound it down until it was as hard as rock, creating layer upon layer. The logistical challenges of building the wall were immense. Imagine trying to transport millions of heavy stones, bricks, and food supplies up steep mountains or across vast deserts without modern machinery. Everything had to be done by hand. Workers used simple tools like baskets, ropes, and wheelbarrows. In some mountainous areas, they even used goats and donkeys with bricks tied to their backs to carry materials up the treacherous slopes. The human labor involved was staggering. Men formed long lines to pass stones and bricks hand to hand up the mountainsides. The work was slow, dangerous, and physically exhausting, especially in the extreme weather conditions of northern China. The human cost of this monumental project was tragically high. The work was incredibly dangerous, with accidents being very common. Workers fell from the steep cliffs, were crushed by falling stones, or died from exhaustion and disease. Food and water were often scarce, and the living conditions were terrible. It is said that the Great Wall is the longest cemetery in the world because so many workers died during its construction. According to legend, many of those who perished were buried within the wall itself, though modern archaeology has not found significant evidence of this. The wall stands as a monument not only to engineering, but also to the immense human sacrifice it required. So, the Great Wall is not just a single uniform structure, it's actually dotted with strategic passes, fortresses, and gates that were, really vital to its function. These passes acted as gateways through the wall, and they were often built in valleys or at key points in the landscape. One of the most famous is the Juyong Pass, which is located in a valley northwest of Beijing. This pass was a critical defense for the capital city. It's especially famous for its cloud platform, a marble structure that's covered in intricate Buddhist carvings. Another major pass is the Shanhai Pass, known as the first pass under heaven. This is where the Great Wall meets the Bohai Sea, creating a pretty dramatic and strategic endpoint for the Ming Wall. Further west you'll find the Jiayu Pass, which is often called the last pass under heaven. Located at the western edge of the Ming Dynasty wall, it stood as the symbolic end of the Chinese Empire and the beginning of the wild deserts beyond. The fortress at Jiayu Pass is, honestly, remarkably well preserved, and gives a fantastic impression of what a Ming-era military stronghold looked like. It's a massive complex with inner and outer walls, towers, and a grand gatehouse. These passes were not just holes in the wall, they were heavily fortified towns where soldiers lived, where trade was controlled, and where the empire's authority was asserted against the outside world. Today, millions of tourists, flock to see the Great Wall, but they usually visit just a few specific, well-restored sections. The most popular of these is Badaling, which is located just a short drive from Beijing. It was actually the first section open to the public, and has been carefully restored to show the wall in its full Ming Dynasty glory. It's often very crowded but offers stunning views and an accessible experience for visitors. Another famous section near Beijing is Mutianyu. It's known for its beautiful scenery with dense forests covering the surrounding mountains and its well-preserved watchtowers. Mutianyu is often less crowded than Badaling and offers a slightly more rugged experience. For those seeking a more authentic and less crowded adventure, there are wild sections of the wall. Places like Jiangku and Gubeiku offer a glimpse of the wall in its original unrestored state. Here, the wall crumbles and winds over dangerously steep ridges, with vegetation growing over its weathered stones. Hiking these sections can be challenging and honestly requires caution, but it provides a powerful sense of the wall's age and the immense struggle it took to build and maintain it. These wild sections connect visitors to the wall's raw history, away from the crowds and commercialism of the more popular tourist spots, offering a truly unforgettable experience. The Great Wall is deeply woven into the fabric of Chinese culture and is surrounded by, countless legends and stories. One of the most famous and heartbreaking tales is that of Meng Jiangnu. The story goes that her husband was taken away to work on the wall shortly after they were married. When winter came and he did not return, she traveled a great distance to bring him warm clothes. Upon arriving, she learned that he had died from exhaustion and been buried within the wall. Overcome with grief, she wept so bitterly that a section of the wall collapsed, revealing her husband's body so she could give him a proper burial. This story highlights the immense human suffering associated with the wall's construction. The Great Wall is not just a historical relic, it is a powerful symbol of Chinese identity and national pride. In the 20th century, as China faced invasion and civil war, the wall was reimagined as a symbol of the nation's resilience and its determination to resist foreign powers. The famous line from China's national anthem, "Let us build our new Great Wall with our flesh and blood," uses the wall as a metaphor for national unity and strength. It represents the spirit of the Chinese people to endure hardship and protect their homeland. This symbolic meaning has made the wall a central piece of modern Chinese patriotism and cultural identity. In 1987, the Great Wall was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its outstanding universal value. This status acknowledges the wall not just as a Chinese treasure, but as a part of the shared heritage of all humanity. It is celebrated as one of the greatest architectural and engineering feats in history. The wall also features in a popular, though incorrect, belief that it is the only man-made structure visible from the moon. While astronauts have confirmed this is not true, the myth itself speaks to the wall's incredible scale and its powerful hold on the human imagination. It underscores how the wall has become a global icon of persistence and grandeur. The cultural impact of the Great Wall extends beyond China's borders. It has been a source of fascination for writers, artists, and filmmakers around the world for centuries. It frequently appears in movies, books, and documentaries as a backdrop for adventure, history, and romance. For many people, the Great Wall is the ultimate symbol of China itself. Its image is instantly recognizable and evokes a sense of ancient mystery and monumental scale. This global recognition ensures that the wall's legacy is not confined to China, but continues to inspire awe and curiosity in people everywhere, securing its place as one of the true wonders of the world. Despite its name and powerful image, the Great Wall is in a fragile state. A large portion of the original structure has disappeared or is in ruins. It is estimated that nearly 1/3 of the Ming Dynasty wall has already vanished. The main threats come from both natural forces and human activity. Centuries of exposure to wind, rain, and sandstorms have eroded the wall, especially the sections made of rammed earth. In some areas, plants and trees have taken root in the wall, their roots slowly prying apart the stones and bricks. The sheer length of the wall makes it incredibly difficult to monitor and protect from the constant slow-moving destruction caused by nature. Human activity poses an even greater threat. In rural areas, local villagers have sometimes taken bricks and stones from the wall to build their houses or farm enclosures. For generations, people living near the wall saw it as a convenient, free quarry for building materials, unaware of its historical significance. Unregulated tourism is another major problem. While popular sections like Battling are well managed, the wild sections are often damaged by hikers and campers who climb on the delicate structures, leave graffiti, and camp on the wall. This uncontrolled access accelerates the decay of these fragile, unrestored parts of the monument. Furthermore, modern development presents a constant danger. The construction of roads, railways, mines, and factories has sometimes led to sections of the wall being demolished or damaged. As China's economy has boomed, infrastructure projects have often pushed into areas where the wall stands. While the government has laws to protect the wall, enforcement can be weak in remote regions. Balancing the need for economic development with the preservation of cultural heritage is a major challenge. Sometimes historical protection is sacrificed for short-term economic gain, leading to irreversible damage to this ancient wonder. Another issue is the quality of restoration work. While efforts to repair the wall are well-intentioned, they are not always done correctly. In some cases, sections of the wall have been restored using modern materials like concrete, which covers the original structure and destroys its historical authenticity. These poor restoration projects have been criticized for turning ancient textured parts of the wall into smooth, sterile walkways. Finding the right balance between preserving the wall's original state and making it safe and accessible for visitors is a delicate and ongoing challenge for conservation experts and government authorities alike. Recognizing the severe threats facing the Great Wall, the Chinese government and various organizations have stepped up efforts to protect it. In 2006, China passed a national law specifically for the protection of the Great Wall. This regulation made it illegal to remove bricks or stones from the wall, to drive vehicles on it, or to build structures within a certain distance of it. The law also outlined the responsibilities of local governments in protecting the sections of the wall within their jurisdiction. This was a crucial step in creating a legal framework for a more coordinated and serious approach to preservation across the vast country. Conservation efforts on the ground are complex and varied. For well-known tourist sections, the focus is on maintenance and crowd control to minimize wear and tear. For the wild sections, the approach is different. The principle of minimum intervention is often applied, meaning that restorers aim to stabilize the structure without completely rebuilding it. They use traditional materials and techniques to reinforce crumbling sections, preventing further collapse while preserving the wall's aged historical appearance. This careful work is slow and requires skilled craftspeople who understand ancient construction methods, making it a costly and time-consuming process. Public awareness and participation are also key components of the preservation strategy. Organizations like the China Great Wall Society work to educate the public about the wall's importance and the threats it faces. They encourage people to become guardians of the wall and report any damage or illegal activities. Volunteer groups organize activities to clean up litter from tourist-heavy sections and patrol remote areas. There is a growing understanding that the government cannot save the wall alone. It requires the collective effort of ordinary citizens who live near the wall and a sense of shared responsibility for this national treasure. Digital technology is also playing a new and important role in the fight to save the Great Wall. Researchers are using drones and satellite imagery to survey and monitor remote sections of the wall that are difficult to access on foot. This allows them to identify areas at risk of collapse and plan preservation work more effectively. High-resolution three-dimensional models are being created to document the wall in its current state, creating a valuable digital archive for future generations. These modern tools are providing conservationists with unprecedented ways to understand, manage, and protect this ancient and sprawling monument for the years to come. In conclusion, the Great Wall of China is far more than just a wall. It is a profound symbol of China's history, culture, and enduring spirit. Its long, winding path across the landscape tells a story of dynasties rising and falling, of conflict and cooperation, and of the incredible power of human ambition. The wall represents the age-old struggle of a settled agricultural civilization to protect its way of life from the threats of the outside world. It is a physical manifestation of a worldview that separated the Middle Kingdom from the rest of the world, a line drawn on the earth to define a culture and a nation. For China today, the Great Wall remains a source of immense national pride. It connects the modern nation to its ancient past and serves as a powerful reminder of the country's long history of innovation, organization, and resilience. It is a unifying symbol for a diverse population, representing the strength that comes from working together towards a common goal. The popular Chinese saying, "He who has not been to the Great Wall is not a true man," captures this sentiment perfectly. To visit the wall is to pay respect to the ancestors who built it, and to connect with the deep historical roots of the nation. On a global scale, the Great Wall's importance is undeniable. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it is recognized as a treasure belonging to all of humanity. It inspires awe and wonder in people from every culture, standing as one of the ultimate testaments to what humans can achieve. The wall encourages us to reflect on the nature of borders, the meaning of defense, and the relationship between human societies and the natural environment. It is a destination for travelers, a subject for scholars, and a source of inspiration for artists, transcending its original purpose to become a global icon of history and perseverance. Ultimately, the Great Wall teaches us a timeless lesson about strength and vulnerability. While it was built to be an impenetrable barrier, its history shows that no wall is truly unconquerable. It was breached many times, and its greatest value was not always in its physical strength but in its symbolic power. Today, as we face new global challenges, the Great Wall reminds us of the importance of preserving our shared heritage. It stands as a silent witness to centuries of human history, a crumbling yet majestic giant that continues to tell the epic story of China and its people to the entire world.
Ready for a history adventure? Join our community. Subscribe to World History, smash that like, share with friends, and drop your thoughts below. Let's make history together. See you in the comments.